Okay, guys, I wanted to give you a really good and quick sneak peek at some of the things you're going to be doing as you are solo entrepreneuring or as you're getting out there and getting your feet wet in, working on all the different projects that you have. And if you have a lot of different projects, one of the things to consider is how you're going to organize these things. Now, for this particular one, you get a chance to see me kind of sending an email over to my co-host for this particular course. All right. So you now get a chance to see how that's going to look. And hopefully you're able to take some of these things, take some of the things that I'm going to be talking about and incorporate them into, your own entrepreneurial doings. Okay. So, and it's the little things. Sometimes these things get missed. I'll give you an example. I was talking to my co-host and I've got 3 different podcasts. So if you're really, really busy, then you need to organize like crazy, right? So I was talking to my co-host last week, and one of the things that would help in, making sure that we got the stuff that we want to get done is if we record on Saturday, which we record every Saturday, then let's have our list of things that we're going to be talking about at least by Wednesday. So what that allows him to do is now go and, do the necessary research for the topics. In this particular case, we're going to be talking about a couple of chapters from the book. So let me go ahead and put this in real quick because I already have which ones I want to talk about, competition. And then the other one is guessing. Sometimes, in your stuff, you're guessing sometimes, right? When you're starting a business, you are kind of guessing, if it's going to work. You don't know yet. So you need to put in the necessary work until you can kind of prove out your guess or hypothesis or whatever people want to call it, right? So I've got the 3 topics that we're going to be talking on. We typically do 3 topics a week, and I have them scheduled out on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 1 o'clock. So we're going to, but this gives him a chance to now do a little bit of the background stuff that we're going to need. This one is called working on the business. These are some of the things that we have found that entrepreneurs talk to us and ask us about or are having trouble with a lot, right? So they're doing all these other things and not working on the business. You're doing a lot of working in the business, and then you're not taking some of the higher level views that you need to take to get a lot of the stuff that you need to get done. So I'm just basically sending him this list, and I want to show you that sometimes it's just as simple as saying, hey, listen, here's some of the preparation. And especially if you're doing something with someone else, you now have each duties, if you will, are kind of spread out. If I'm doing the tech stuff and I'm putting them on the different websites and all that kind of stuff, and I'm loading them up, then you now have someone doing some of the areas that either you don't want to do or you're just sharing. It's one of those chances to share in the duty. So just a real quick video to show you, just send an email, just prepare a little bit. So then that your other partner, if you're working with someone else, that they can start getting some work done too. Okay. So this will help you. You're going to be developing a team, whether you are a solopreneur, you're working in your office all by yourself. It is some of the things that are going to be critical in your success. And that is working on the business. As you work in the business, now spread out how you have other people work on the business for you. Okay. So now in my particular case, with the company that I run, our job is to constantly create businesses and constantly try things and test things and then see what has come from that and then teach it out. Okay. So that's at Otterbridge Business Institute. Under the Otterbridge Business Institute banner, as you see here, Otterbridge Business Institute banner, then we do multiple things. We're always creating a portfolio company and again, testing out things. And then in my particular case, I have the podcast that I now talk about things on, and then I get a chance to take some of that information that I've gone and done some research on and then go out and help people with their business. So that becomes the big deal. When you're working like that, ideas are going to come to you all the time. So some of the things I'll show you just as an example of what I do. I'll write down, you don't want to see my piles, trust me. I'll write down these ideas on paper, on 3x5 or 4x6 cards, whatever you have to do, and then you set them in the pile, right? But one of the big things is that you want to constantly go back to the pile to make sure that you now can pull those ideas out and have a system that you now put them into play. In this particular case, I'm able to look at the pile and go, okay, I know what I need to do. I've created my list. For example, my list of things to do, right? Front and back, have the list of things to do for the day. And then I do another little thing is, now this is something that you can do or not, but I set a timer. I set a timer so that I can make sure that I get in the deep work necessary to get the jobs done. Now, this hasn't always been my style. When you're first starting, sometimes your style is going to be, you're going to be all over the place. And what happens when you are all over the place, you get bogged down. You get overwhelmed. Now, if you're, a student of like Grant Cardone and all he says, there's no such thing as getting bogged down or being having too much work or overwhelm. It's just underwork. So these kind of things help you. Setting up a small system. Let me review that real quick. Setting up a small system that allows you to have things listed out, right? B, working with other folks that they are working maybe on some of the outside stuff if you're doing some of the inside stuff. Or vice versa, right? If you're working on the outside stuff, working on the business, doing the marketing, doing the thinking, doing the sales, then you make sure you have someone that's doing some of the inside work so that you can reduce overwhelm and just, crush this belief that, you can't get multiple things done. Getting yourself a little timer, right? Something like this, because what I do is once that timer goes off, I set it for like 50 minutes so that I can concentrate for 50 minutes straight. And then what I'll do is I'll take a break, right? I'll go, shoot some hoops, go do some push-ups, take a small nap, whatever it is. Then that way you're constantly renewing and you're not just sitting somewhere for like 20 hours straight. But at the same time, you got to be careful of when you get into rest mode that you don't rest for the rest of the day, right? So I want to show you guys this. I'm going to send this off to my partner for this particular podcast. Use these kind of steps to help you in your own business. Just small little list, making sure that you have enough time, right, for the person you're working with to get the part that they need to get done. So then when you, in this particular case, come to your podcast, you're ready to go and all goes well. Okay, let me go ahead and send this off and I will talk to you guys on the next video.